Some twist villains make you sit up, others make you check your watch. Take Bellwether. Her reveal is so soft you barely feel it. Cute sheep turns villain. Great. Now meet Ernesto de la Cruz, Mexico's golden boy, a stadium of fans. Then the knife twist. He poisons his best friend and steals the songs that built his legend, the feelings, the emotions. And then Miles Axlerod, the billionaire fraud who created a global crisis just to crash out. Just another get-rich-quick scheme. So why does one twist slap while the other feels like nothing happened? Why is Ernesto de la Cruz so memorable and Miles Axlerod is not? To understand why, we need to go back to where every good villain truly forms, the wound. Ernesto de la Cruz doesn't enter the story as a villain. He enters as a performer whose entire identity is fused with being seen, and I don't mean he loves applause, I mean he believes he stops existing without it. You can already see how much he's enjoying it in his introduction. Music is his oxygen, so when he says it's not just in me, it is me, Ernesto is giving us his thesis statement, and that line tells you exactly why every choice later feels inevitable. And that's what gives his story weight. He's not killing Hector because he hates him, he's killing the part of himself that fears being ordinary. Hector walks towards family, humility, and home. Ernesto walks towards the spotlight, and without that, he thinks he disappears. Ernesto needs what Hector gives him, authenticity, real art, a soul he can't create himself, and when you see it this way, everything clicks. His behavior in the land of the dead maintains the same need for control. The stakes sit right under it. Miles Axlerod, on the other hand, is driven by a much thinner wound. He's not fighting existential eraser, he's fighting embarrassment. People mocked him for being a lemon. And instead of dealing with it, he went for global energy manipulation. His reaction is disproportionate to the insecurity driving it. He's basically a billionaire who never emotionally graduated from middle school. His worldview is simple. They laughed at me, so I'll blow up some engines and watch the world panic. And that's the difference. Ernesto's villainy grows from a deep psychological fracture. Miles' villainy grows from a bruise. It's why their stories feel totally different. Ernesto's choices ripple through the whole movie. They reshape the emotional core of Coco. Every betrayal hits like a lesson in moral failure. Miles' choices move the plot, but they don't shape the soul of Cars 2. And that's all the theory. Now, let's watch what happens when those wounds hit real scenes. This is where things get messy. Ernesto starts breaking long before Miguel ever meets him. It begins with a glass raised under a streetlight. People remember the poison toast for the shock, but the emotional part hits harder. Ernesto isn't planning like some genius, he's panicking. His whole identity feels like it's collapsing. Hector says he's going home and Ernesto's smile freezes. If Hector leaves, the music leaves, and if the music leaves, the persona dies. Later, when Miguel asks him about his family, something small gives him away. Ernesto hesitates. He gives a smooth line, but it feels empty. Miguel asks like a kid looking for belonging. Ernesto answers like someone who has never had it. That moment isn't just a warning sign. He has no home to miss and nothing pulling him back from the life he chose. His mask stays on, but you can feel the pressure under it. When he breaks the marigold petal, he shows the truth. We already mentioned fame is the only thing keeping him steady, and anyone who threatens it becomes a problem. Even a boy he thought was his descendant a few minutes earlier. His ambition has completely overridden his moral restraint. Now compare that to Miles Axlerod. His big scenes look impressive, but nothing is happening underneath. His introduction in Tokyo shows the kind billionaire, the speeches, and the clean energy act. It works visually, but emotionally, it's empty. There's no real feeling behind it, no real damage, just a polished image. Look at the oil leak moment. Ernesto collapses under guilt and fear. Miles collapses under embarrassment. He frames Mater for leaking oil because he doesn't want anyone to see a mistake in his fake electric car persona. His insecurity comes out with a fake polite smile and a "staff, clean this up please," like shame is something you can mop off the floor. Then the Alanol explosions. Huge scenes, huge action, but nothing emotional builds. Ernesto's choices hurt because they destroy him inside. Miles' choices keep going because the plot needs another twist. Every explosion is just another part of the plan, not another piece of him. That's the character work. Now let's see how the worlds around them turn those choices into something bigger. Coco builds a world where memory keeps everything alive. A person stays around only if someone in the living world remembers them. Because of that rule, Ernesto de la Cruz becomes a man who treats memory like power. Every song, every show, and every statue makes people think his legacy is real. In a story built on family and truth, Ernesto tries to build his whole afterlife on a story he made up. This is why he feels so important on screen. The Land of the Dead treats memory like fuel, so every scene with Ernesto hits the main idea of the film. Identity grows from honesty and connection. His old movies repeat the same heroic image because he wants everyone to repeat his version of himself. His mansion looks huge because he wants the world to see the life he pretends he has. His fame shapes Miguel's entire journey. Ernesto shows what happens when someone chooses image over real connection, and the world of Coco reacts to that choice in a way that actually matters. Pixar shows all of this in simple visual cues. The green glow on the poster shows something is off under the shiny surface. The size of his concerts match the size of his ego. Even the lighting at his parties treats him like a trophy instead of a person. Every shot pushes the same point. A legacy built on lies traps you in the story you invented. Cars 2 plays by different rules. Its world works like a spy comedy, full of gadgets, missions, and fast plot turns. Characters move because the genre pushes them forward, not because of deep emotion. In that setup, Miles Axlerod fits into the plot like a puzzle piece. His plans kick off the races, the chases, and the big reveals. His speeches, staged good guy moments, and energy scams support the comedy tone. The world reacts to him with suspicion, not emotion. Nothing shifts on a deeper level because of him. And let's be honest, his villain twist was kind of obvious from the start, wasn't it? Now let's put them side by side. When you place Ernesto de la Cruz and Miles Axlerod side by side, the difference shows up right away. Start with motivation. Ernesto builds his whole life around legacy. That spotlight is the only place where he feels real. Every choice he makes comes from the same fear, living a life without an audience. That fear shapes scenes, hurts characters, and pushes the story of Coco forward. When Ernesto sees Hector getting ready to go home, panic hits him. The dream starts to fall apart, and he grabs the only move he trusts, control. He knows what it will cost, and he does it anyway. That decision affects everyone, even generations later. Miles Axlerod comes from something much smaller. He builds a worldwide energy scam because he wants a big look at me now moment. He wants applause too, but his needs come from irritation, not fear or shame. His plans make a fun spy puzzle, but they don't push the emotional core of Cars 2. His whole revenge plan feels like a gadget reveal, flashy, clever, and mainly built for entertainment. Consequences make the gap even clearer. Ernesto's actions damage a family, hit an entire town, and block a kid's chance to understand where he comes from. Every lie he tells breaks something important. His choices echo across the whole film and shape Coco's central message. He stands at the heart of the story's biggest warning. Greatness without truth falls apart. Miles disrupts races, causes explosions, and throws Mater into confusion. The stakes feel big, but the fallout stays inside the spy thriller setup. His arrest happens off-screen and barely matters. The world of Cars 2 shrugs, updates the news, and moves on. So yes, Ernesto's reveal flips the entire film. Every old scene hits differently once you know the truth. Every song, every smile, every moment suddenly points to who he really is. That change gives the movie new energy. Ernesto doesn't just move the plot, he changes how Miguel sees the world.
My songs that made you famous.
Miles' reveal feels like the last puzzle piece in a story already crowded with clues. The twist is fun, but it doesn't land emotionally. Alright, twist revealed. Now let's see how both guys crash and burn. Ernesto's ending hits hard. Coco shows his fail in a clear way. The applause stops, the spotlight fades, the image he built falls apart. He rises through showmanship and he falls in the middle of it too. The crowd turns on him. The bell is just the final hit. The real consequence is simple. People stop admiring him. His reputation shifts from admired to negative. Coco uses this moment to lock in its message. In this world, memory decides what your afterlife looks like. Your reputation shapes how long you stay around. Ernesto enters the story as a legend and leaves it as a warning. The film corrects itself the moment the truth comes out. That helps Miguel grow. The ending shows him exactly what happens when you build your life on lies. Ernesto becomes the example Miguel refuses to copy. The last shot of Ernesto in the land of the dead makes this even clearer. He stands in the middle of things he once used to feel important. Now they mean nothing. He has to live with the rules he tried to bend. He keeps existing, but every day reminds him of the choices he made. That quiet ending finishes Coco's point. Love builds a real legacy. Ego destroys it. Ernesto becomes part of the message. Miles' Axlerod gets a very different ending. His finale fits the spy adventure tone of Cars 2, but it doesn't move the audience. Mater solves the mystery. The police take Miles away, and then the story moves on. That's all. This is what defines Miles' legacy. He exists in a movie that treats villains as part of the genre. He gives the story fuel. The movie enjoys the reveal, the chase, and the showdown. Then the film closes the case and keeps going. His downfall stays inside the action. It doesn't move into character growth. Cars 2 ends on friendship, confidence, and trust in unexpected heroes. Miles' ending is clean and quick. So, in the end, why is Ernesto de la Cruz memorable and Miles' Axlerod not? Simply because Ernesto rewrites a family's entire history and Miles barely dents the story he's in.